Yes, people, good afternoon. Welcome back to AN Sports for Beyond the Ball. Obviously, it was scheduled for the weekend, but you know what? I told Josh, might as well get it out of the way now. Let's just talk about it now because you know what it is. Football on the weekends, for international break, nothing much to really talk about, nothing much to really discuss. But aside from that, the Premier League has gone three game weeks in. This is 3 weeks into the Premier League season. We're going to talk about that so far. We're going to recap the transfer window, and we'll discuss a bit more about how the referees and everything have panned out so far as well. Because obviously there has been a lot of controversy. It is the Premier League. There's going to be controversy every single game. But Josh, welcome back, bro. It's been a few days, but this is Beyond the Ball during international breaks and international breaks only. And yeah, here we are, bro.
Well,
Well,
Akavan, a lot of flashbacks from during the summer when there was no football on, really.
yes,
Hey, beyond the ball, man. We got up to 10 episodes, 10 brilliant episodes, very insightful, very thought provoking, and we're looking to get back on form now. I can't wait for it.
100%, bro, 100%. But yeah, obviously the transfer window just finished. Um, Deadline day, eventful, wasn't it? We signed center allotments, we signed players. But talk to me, bro. How have you felt about deadline day as a whole, and how have you felt about your club's business, clubs in general, Liverpool making big moves again? Yeah, just deadline day and then transfer window as a whole. Let's go through every single Premier League club, and we'll discuss their transfers. But obviously,
Oh,
how have you felt about it so far?
well, in terms of deadline day, I think I told you when we kind of did the transfer deadline day stream slash the Premier League game week 3 review. I mean, obviously it was crazy, but Sky Sports, for example, I mean, I went on Sky Sports. Their news is about 6 hours behind what you already know from the likes of
Right.
Fabrizio, David Ornstein, Twitter in general. Gone are the days of Mesut Ozil last minute. You know, and we've talked about that before. Like, we're never going to see that again, like something to that scale. So from that point of view, it was kind of like, it's so watered down now. This whole deadline day stuff. Um, in terms of who had the best deadline day in particular, I mean, Man City, it was obvious that James Trafford wasn't going to be an immediate fit. So they act like a big club. They operate like a big club should operate, and they get the best goalkeeper in the world for a cut price, £30 million. Might be
Yep.
30 million euros. I'm not too sure. So I think you can't really look past that deal. I don't know about Chelsea. They had a whirlwind deadline day with the Nicholas Jackson saga, bringing Gugu back from Sunderland on loan, recalling him from loan. I think you can't look past Liverpool. Obviously, the Isak deal was done
That,
days,
that
even weeks in advance, but
that's
you
the same.
can't look past that.
Yeah. And then Guehi had a failed transfer because Oliver Glasner, yeah, pulled
Threatened to
out,
walk.
trying to walk away. He's a winner, but in my opinion, you should have just let him go. I think that's a bit childish from him at the same time, as much as I think he's a winner.
No,
Because
I understand. I disagree with you that respectfully.
you should have let your. If, the thing is, at the end of the day, if a player wants to go to his dream, if a player wants to make his dream move, he's acted professional all summer about it. He's talked. He's been professional. He's been nothing but a a true footballer. He should be. I understand that Crystal Palace didn't find a replacement, but as a club, they should have prepared for that time ago. I know they needed the money to go and buy a center back, but they should have used that money to bring in a center back on loan at least, or to bring in someone that they think maybe could fill in Guehi's shoes. You know, I just think not allowing him to make his dream move could maybe hurt his morale throughout the rest of the season. Although he is a top professional, although I still think he will act like a true professional footballer for Crystal Palace. But it should be the way it should have just been like, you know what, let him go before it gets toxic in
Well,
case.
Akfin,
Yeah,
you point out, obviously, Gehi has acted like a stand-up professional. And you see the likes of Isak this transfer window. You see Yokeres this transfer window. Emi Martinez this transfer window. I can't remember who else, but um, like lots of players have kicked up a fuss, went to war against their own club. Johan Wissa, for example, and they've ended up getting their move. Gehi, in contrast, has been a total professional throughout, and he's ended up not getting his move. Now that sets a very, very dangerous precedent as far as player morale goes. And yes, I think he will take a bit of time to get back into form. He had the perfect goodbye with that screamer at Villa Park. That it turns out the deal fell through. The way I see it, Akron, at the end of the day, he's contracted with an employer, and whether it's through his fault or not, the employers have failed to get a replacement in on time. So he can feel hard done by that. But I have no issues with Crystal Palace stopping him from moving, because at the end of the day, he is a quality player. He's the captain of their football club.
Yeah.
And yes, they're going to lose him for free instead, but they'd rather lose him for free after a year rather than sell him now for a profit and get no replacement in whatsoever. So for me personally, I have no issues with what Crystal Palace did. I know Liverpool fans will differ with that, but I'm not a Liverpool fan, so I don't have any issues with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
But like I said, Akvin, it does set a dangerous precedent with what Isak's done, with what Gyökeres has done, with what Wiss has done this window. They've all got their move after kicking up a fuss, going to war against their own clubs. And more players are going to take note from that. And we're going to see more drama in January and in the summer of 2026 and beyond that.
Yeah, it sets a bad precedent, doesn't it? Because obviously, players want to be professional. They want to act like they want to be there. They're grateful for their clubs, but if their clubs don't want to let them go, if their clubs don't want to let them go, then you could maybe ask the question: wow, are they treating me right? Are they giving me the right, sort of, treatment? Because, it is. They shouldn't really kick up a fuss. If you start kicking up a fuss, it sets a bad precedent for other clubs that they're signing for. It's like, oh, if this is what we have to do in the future, let's pull out of the deal. Let's pull out. Because if they don't want to have to start, fighting with the player. Sorry, not fighting. They don't have to get into like arguments with the players. They don't have to like get into how do you say get into any issues like this, because like you mentioned, Joan Wissa, Gyökeres, Isak, these guys got their moves. But if this is how that's going to be in the future, if they request to leave their current clubs in the future, and they decide, oh, okay, this is where I think my time has come to an end, then you could look at it and be like, wow, we've really made a mess of this, because we've now signed players that have really, really kicked the fuss with their previous clubs. Now they're joining us. If they start this again, if they start this in the future, if they kick the fuss with us, then we can't handle it. Although a big club should be able to handle it. Newcastle are only slowly getting back to what they used to be, what they once was. Liverpool are a big club. They know what they need to do. I'm sure Arsenal know what they need to do. I'm sure Newcastle should maybe learn what to do with Joan Wissa. They're basically signing Isak's replacement, who did the exact same thing as Isak to his previous club. So clubs need to handle it better, and I'm sure the big clubs will know how to handle the situation. This is just my thoughts on that and deadline day. But yeah, I want to know if you want anything more. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I understand, Akvin. One thing I will say, like, it's far less likely that Liverpool or Arsenal will have players that act like that compared to a Newcastle or a Brentford. Because at the end of the day, Liverpool, chances are you're going to win trophies there anyway. Arsenal, you're living in London, you're getting paid a fuck ton. Yeah, I didn't mention any trophies, as an Arsenal fan. That's been very scarce over the last 20 odd years. But at the end of the day, I don't think those type of clubs, the clubs of that stature, will suffer as much as the likes of Newcastle and Brentford have done this window. But it can still happen. Having said that, being the big clubs that they are, I think they will handle it best. So I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I hear that. And obviously, deadline day has just passed. Of all the transfers that happened, I'm sure you think Liverpool is the one that has done the best business, don't you think? Or you think
I mean, in terms of Premier League clubs, on paper, and I do stress on paper, it doesn't look like any club has had a transfer window as good as Liverpool's. But like you've said before, they will take time to adapt, and we've debated this. They're obviously going to need time to adapt. Yes, they've broken the British transfer record twice in one window.
Yeah.
But no matter how much they cost, they are going to have to adapt to a new system and to a new team in a new environment. So we'll see how it goes. But like I said, Akvin, on paper, you can't look past Liverpool in terms of their transfer window.
I agree, 100%. It's as a United fan, it hurts to say this, but Liverpool have done the best business, and they've done, arguably one of the best, like in terms of they've done one of the biggest deals as well. On top of that, they've added Isak to the squad. Like it's really hard to look at Liverpool and be like, wow, you're not amazed, you're not surprised. If I had to rank the top 5 transfers this summer transfer window, I'm gonna put Isak number 1. I think Isak is number 1. I think number 2, João Pedro to Chelsea.
It's just Premier League only.
Premier League only, yeah. Premier League only. João Pedro to Liverpool. Sorry, Chelsea, excuse me. Chelsea. Because Liverpool made so many moves. It's like literally like Liverpool. Ekitike number 3. Victor Gyökeres number 4. And number 5, I'm gonna go with Xavi Simons to Tottenham. I think Tottenham have pulled a really, really good transfer out of the bag there. They've done really good business on that one. I think they've done really, really good business. So it's hard. It's just really hard to put it past them, honestly, with that deal that they've done. Like at the end of the day, Xavi Simons is a good player, and I thought Chelsea were going to get him, but Tottenham went and hijacked Xavi Simons. Obviously, I'm going to give special mentions to Brian Mbeumo. Obviously, I am biased. I think he will come good. I think Brian Mbeumo will be a good player for us. And there's been a lot of moves. I think Wissa to Newcastle is a good move as well. I think, yes, thank you. Oh, Michael, thank you. I forgot. Grealish to Everton. But is he a permanent transfer? He's a loan transfer.
No, he's a loan. He's a loan.
Yeah, I'm talking about like permanent transfers. But if loan transfers, hey, fair enough. Grealish is up there. And I mentioned about systems and shit like that. He's gone out of his system and look at him. He's left his system, Pep system. And look at the state of Grealish now. He's balling out at Everton. If you would have gone back to Aston Villa, oh boy, trust me, he'd have killed it. He would have killed it.
Honourable mentions to Granit Xhaka to Sunderland.
Yeah.
How do you say his name? Truffaut to Bournemouth. Is that his name?
Truffert.
Truffert. That's it. Sorry, English tongue. You know.
That's okay.
But he's slotted in Kirk's place and been flawless so far for Bournemouth. 2 clean sheets out of 3. Only place where they didn't keep a clean sheet was at Anfield, and they were unlucky not to get something out of that game. So he's fitted in flawlessly so far. So honourable mention to him. Obviously, Eze, from an Arsenal perspective, much needed creativity for Arsenal to hopefully finally get over the line. I mean, whether we will or not, I've talked countless times about that and why I don't think so. But we've given ourselves the best chance with our transfer window. I think we have had a good transfer window. Whether or not that translates to trophies, I don't know. We don't know. We're dealing with hypotheticals again. But in terms of everyone else, like you said, Xavi Simons to Spurs, Mohamed Kudus to Spurs as well. He started off brilliantly. I mean, who else? João Paulini has played well for Tottenham so far. I mean, the Bournemouth debacle aside, but the whole team was full that day.
Yep.
Donnarumma at Man City as well. Did we mention that?
Yeah. Donnarumma.
You can't look past that.
Yeah, you can't look. I agree 100% with you. 100%.
He's literally the best goalkeeper in the world, and we haven't even mentioned him yet. Arguably.
And he also leave PSG as well. I'm like, yo, what was that? Yeah. But listen, those are the top 5 deals I've done. What's your top 5? If you had to give a top 5.
In no particular order, Donnarumma at City, Isak at Liverpool. Pardon?
I put mine in order.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll put mine in order. This will be spontaneous. Ooh.
Isak has to be.
I don't know.
They finally got him at the end.
I don't know.
Gyökeres?
No, I don't know. I'll go Donnarumma at City. because it's clear they needed an upgrade in that area. No offense to James Trafford, but it did seem a bit too big for him. I'll go. You know what? I'll go. I'll go Eze at Arsenal, Isak at Liverpool, Tripper at Bournemouth, and it's between João Pedro and Xavi Simons for me. I'll lean towards Xavi Simons because at the end of the day, Chelsea are a Champions League club. Tottenham finished 17th. I think Xavi Simons will have a much bigger impact than João Pedro will.
João Pedro is number 5. Sorry.
No. Xavi Simons is number 5 because I think he'll improve Spurs much more than João Pedro will Chelsea.
So number 1, you're saying Donnarumma. Number 2,
Yeah.
Isak.
No, Eze and then Isak.
Isak, and then Pedro, and then Xavi Simons.
No, Truffert for Bournemouth, then Xavi Simons.
Okay. I'm surprised João Pedro's not on the list. I mean,
No. I explained. Only reason is because Xavi Simons will improve Tottenham a lot more than João Pedro will Chelsea, and that's nothing to do with who's the better player. It's because Chelsea are already a 4th place team. They're already in the Champions League.
Who's a bigger impact signing?
Yeah. Xavi Simons will have more impact at Spurs, in my opinion. And feel free to disagree, but that's me.
Man says Sancho de Villa.
The freedom fighter to Villa.
It could be a good move for him. Who knows? It could be a good move for him. We shall see. This international break kills from a team start playing good football rather than individual masterclass. Yeah, bro, I hear your point. Real Madrid were cooking, and then international break happened. International break couldn't have come at a worse time for Real Madrid, in my opinion. They've been balling out for.
Well, from what I've heard from Madrid fans, they haven't been playing too well so far, but they've got 9 points out of a possible 9.
The last game, they were brilliant. The last game, not this previous one, the game before. But they don't need to be amazing. They just had to score goals because Real Madrid have individual brilliance and have individual players who can get them out of games. So this is why I think they don't need to have. You don't need to have what do you call all that, to be to win a match. Just have the players to score goals. Just get the individual talent across the line. You know what I'm trying to say? That's just my thoughts on that. I don't think Real Madrid had to be perfect to get results. But yeah, that's what they were missing last season. This was the results.
That's true. I mean, for Real Madrid standards, last season was embarrassing. Let's not beat around the bush around that. You go from the Ballon d'Or, childlike tantrum, the embarrassing Champions League knockout, losing the Copa del Rey final and losing the Liga to your main rivals. They'll be much improved this season. Although they still won 2 trophies. At the end of the day, they were still Real Madrid, but they went through a bit of a tough time last year.
Mark my words, Esteban will surpass Kuda, Saka, Eze, Simons, and Wirtz. Wow. Esteban. Okay.
I'm naturally not inclined to praise any Chelsea players, but listen, he's a star.
He's an excellent player. He's an excellent player. He is this season. Okay. Of course, I know you get.
Cheers, possibly.
I don't like Arsenal either, but yeah, we're gonna move on to.
No, I don't like United either. If that makes it fair.
Of course. What's the next topic we'll talk about? Premier League so far. So Premier League. Unless you want to recap the transfer window in general, football transfer window in general. Unless you want to.
Well, I mean, I've named my YouTube channel with no videos on it, the average Premtard, for a reason. If you had to ask me, I'm not too knowledgeable on it. I've got to admit. I mean, you could talk about yours, and I could give my thoughts on it if you want.
Howson to Real Madrid was a good move, I think.
No, I'm thinking like that's just. I don't know. I don't know, man. I think Trent will come good at Real.
Anthony to Betis.
No, he played well for Betis last year. Oh, I tell you what, Højlund's going to turn up for Napoli as well. Maybe. It's going to be It's going to be the Manchester United thing, isn't it? He looks shit at United, goes to another club, and he balls out.
When he first joined Man United, I was thinking, okay, we got 13 goals out of his first season. Second season, I'm expecting more goals, but the system kind of ruined him. I'm not a Højlund fan, but the system thing is kind of preventing strikers from bagging a lot of goals. So maybe at the end of the day, I can't blame him fully, but he's not a good player in my opinion in general. So we shall see if he'll turn up at Napoli. What did we do? We are sweethearts. No, everyone feels sorry for us, bro.
Well, to be fair, I mean, everyone hates United because they ruined their childhoods. But when I started getting into football, Sir Alex Ferguson had already retired, so it wasn't as if United were like winning everything when I was growing up. But you still learn to hate United. It's part and parcel of being a football fan.
I call it fake Madrid as well. By the way, of course they're fake Madrid. Yes, fuck it, let it go. No, I didn't want Conor Gallagher. I did not want Conor Gallagher. If you'd have signed Conor Gallagher, that transfer window goes to a 3 out of 10. Terrible window. I would never have taken Conor Gallagher at my club. He is not the player I want. I would have taken a Baleba or a Wharton at my club. That's the type of player I want. You know what I'm trying to say. But we should have gone for one of these players. I mean, a Guma from Sevilla, for God's sake. Get someone in midfield. You know what I mean? We didn't get someone in midfield. That's why I rate a 4 out of 10 window for United. 4 out of 10 window. That's Anthony's in drama queen. Nobody's talking about frauds at Liverpool because they're winning. If Nordegaard put the performances that Wirtz has, Berta wouldn't survive.
Yeah, Wirtz has had a slow start. And considering he was the British transfer record before Isak came in, the expectations still have to be higher, but I do think he'll come. He'll start performing eventually. He's had a slow start.
I think he's actually in the top 5. Forget how he's been playing so far. Just as the name itself to Liverpool, that should be a top 5.
Listen, if we were talking about names, then
Wirtz
I don't know.
If we're just talking about,
I don't know. Madueke is a cool name, but I wouldn't put him in my top 5. You know what I mean? So.
No, I hear it. But yeah, I think that's a transfer window recap. To be fair, not really much to talk about.
Well, you talked about United and how you'd rate it a 3 out of 10 if you signed Gallagher. How do you rate it now?
4 out of 10. My window 4 out of 10.
Why is that?
Because we didn't get a midfielder and we didn't sell this bum of a goalkeeper.
Which one?
We didn't sign another goalkeeper. I think Senne Lammens is fine, but we needed 2 goalkeepers. And this is why I told my cousin. Yeah, I said this on many streams already, on my streams, bro. I can't lie to you. We should have done that Sancho deal separately, because we'd have got Emi Martinez the other way. We wouldn't have signed him on a. Sorry, Sancho would have gone on a loan, and we could have signed Emi Martinez because the guy refused to go on a permanent deal. Sancho refused to go on a permanent deal. He went as a loan signing to Aston Villa. So if we would have sold Sancho, if we'd have loaned him out on a separate deal and bought Emi Martinez, bro, dude, that would have been perfect. Sign Emi Martinez on a separate deal, and we're looking like that's the goalkeeping depth. That's good enough already. The goalkeeping department, that's good already. And then you just need a midfielder. The midfielder is where I call it a 4 out of 10. Because we still have crap players at the club. And we still needed a midfielder. And we didn't do that. We didn't address the midfield situation. So it's a 4 out of 10 for me. 4 out of 10. What's your rating for Arsenal, bro?
Well, on paper, Akron, I'd give it a very good 8 out of 10. Like I said, we've got the squad to win things now. But you know why I think we won't. Listen, Norgard and Madueke aside, I think all of our signings have improved the squad in some way or the other. So I feel, certain someone, there's no excuse now. I want you gone anyway. But if you can't win with this squad, yeah, curtains, mate. Has to be, surely. Regardless of whether you finish in the Champions League places, which I know is for Kroenke's main thing. Listen, Eze, Gyökeres, Saka front three with... I mean, one thing about the transfer window, if we got a out-and-out left winger, okay, and played Eze in the Ødegaard role, I think that would be a 10 out of 10 on paper, like I say. But, we haven't got a clear left winger. I know Eze can play there, and I think he will play there, and he'll do wonderful for us.
Yeah.
But an out-and-out left winger, probably. Don't sign Madueke. Sign someone like Gittins instead. I would have rather Garnacho for £40 million than Madueke for 52 million. Like, crucify me, what have you. I think Garnacho's a better player. Although Madueke plays well at Anfield, I'll give him that. And Norgard, I'd rather we just kept Jorginho. Or if Party wasn't a probable rapist, Party instead. But like in terms of like Norgard's coming in as Jorginho's replacement, I'd rather we just kept Jorginho. To be fair, there's only 2 years between them. Jorginho's been there and won it before.
I think Norgard was a waste of signing. Actually, you shouldn't have signed Norgard.
Yeah, just keep Jorginho, man.
Yeah, Jorginho would have been better if you kept him. I think you didn't replace him. I think you bought a worse player, in fact. But to be fair with you, you're not really going to get much for Norgard anyways. I mean, you could sell him off for profit next season. You bought him on
Akoven, Arsenal Football Club and profits in the same sentence.
How much did you get him for? 13 million or a free transfer? I can't remember what it was.
Norgard's, that was about £11 million.
You'll be fine. I don't think it's much.
We'll still lose money on him. Trust me. I know this club to a T. So.
No, I just think you guys don't need Norgard. I think you needed someone else better. I think you should have gone for much. If you're gonna replace Jorginho, go replace him with someone better. That's what I think. Sorry? No,
that's what I was just saying. Jorginho, he's been there before, he's won it before, albeit at the wankers down in West London, you know. So, like, he's at the end of the day, he's been there before. The experience is invaluable. He's seen it, he's done it, what have you. Played in some of the biggest games. He's played in the Euros final. He's won the Euros. Norgard, by comparison, yes, he's Brentford captain, and he's won the championship, I think. But has he ever finished third in the Ballon d'Or rankings? No. We should have signed someone more on Jorginho's caliber for me. But anyway, I digress.
Sanket's asking us, what are our dream clubs? What are dream signings for our clubs?
I'll let you go first. I need to think about that
one. What was your rating for the Arsenal window again? You said 7 out of
10? 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. On paper, like I say. If it translates to trophies, then 10 out of 10. Fuck it.
The signings Man United made, for me personally, I rate the signings, but the problem is we didn't go and sign what we needed the most, was a midfielder.
Fair enough.
Players missing, like I said, a right wing back is missing, a left side of centre back is missing, a backup striker is missing, and I think we need. I think next season, if Casemiro leaves, another midfielder is needed.
Who'd be your dream signing then?
Dream signing. Realistic or unrealistic, Sanket?
I think dream would imply unrealistic. I'll go for mine straight away, and I wish we got the deal done in January. Kvaratskhelia.
He says Bastoni.
For Arsenal, Kvaratskhelia. I reckon if we signed him, we would have had a really good chance of getting to the final, especially as PSG wouldn't have had him. And we could have got him in January, but we decided to sit on our arse and PSG got him instead.
Bastoni is mine too. Because
over a midfielder,
he suits a back three so well. He suits the back three position so well. Him, De Ligt, and Euro would be such a good centre back trio. Midfielder, Vitinha.
They just pick out PSG squad.
Pretty much, yeah. Or Fede Valverde, bro. Fede Valverde from Real Madrid.
I'll go Kvaratskhelia for Arsenal. Play Eze in where Edgar plays, and we should be winning stuff now. But this is Arsenal we're talking about.
The question I'm most interested in: who is the best 10 in the Prem now? That's a good question.
He wants us to say Fernandes. I don't know. I'll let Akoven argue his case.
I don't even think Bruno Fernandes plays as a 10. He plays as an 8.
Yeah, good point now. In the new system.
He plays as an 8.
Are there many 10s in the Prem now?
Not many, Premier League, they don't really play with 10s like that no more. They don't play with number 10s like that anymore. I don't know, Reinders, does he play 10? Does Rangers play as a 10 or does he play as an 8?
Does Xavi Simmons play as a number 10 for Spurs?
I can't say he's the best in the Prem. He's not playing in the Prem yet.
Yeah, good point. I mean, he hasn't. I suppose you could argue he has the potential to be. But
Definitely not Odegaard. Definitely not Odegaard.
Christ above.
This is gonna be tough, man.
Listen, yeah, Odegaard, he gets praised more for pressing than creating. So
KDB is gone. Can't be an obvious answer anymore. Yeah, true.
I guess Cole Palmer plays as a 10, doesn't he?
Cole Palmer. Yeah.
Albeit he hasn't scored an open play goal in the Prem since my birthday, 14th of January. So he's on a bit of a drought, I think.
We could go with Cole Palmer. Honestly.
I don't know, does Phil Foden play as a 10? He gets passed around the front three like Bonnie Boo.
Right wing. I think he's a right winger.
Yeah, fair play.
I can't really think. I'm probably gonna go Cole Palmer. I guess Cole Palmer. I don't really have anyone else in mind.
I mean, to be fair, how many Premier League sides play with a 10?
Not many.
Like an out 10.
Chelsea do.
I think Palmer would be the obvious choice for.
I'll go with Cole Palmer. Yeah, I'll go Cole Palmer. I'll go Cole Palmer. Wirtz is up there, but Wirtz hasn't really hit the ground running yet. He's only played 3 games. I can't. Really
This is it, Ackerman. It's game week 3. Well, I think we are making some judgments too early. You know.
Morgan Rogers is actually a really good shot. To be fair, he's actually a really good shot. You know. Madison.
Is he a 10?
Madison Eze. Eze is a good player, man. Eze is a good player. I don't like slander for Eze, man. To be fair, Madison's.
He is a fantastic player, Eze, but he won't play as a 10. He'll play on the left.
I'm gonna go with Cole Palmer. I'll stick with Cole Palmer. So you saying Cole Palmer as well?
Yeah. He seems like the obvious pick now that KDB's gone.
I agree with you, Boss Blue. People were saying that we need one midfielder off the title, bro. Yeah, 2 midfielders, exactly. 2 midfielders, another centre back, 2 wing backs. Yeah, exactly. When I said Theo Hernandez was available, nobody wanted to listen to me, no? What do I know? 1 midfielder, so it's just so we could survive the season. Facts.
So you can get past Grimsby, I don't know.
Exactly, bro. And then and then now United want to go. Can have 5 days to appeal for a rematch.
That is absolutely shameless, man. Come on.
Absolute wrongins. You know what I do love? I saw it a few times when we announce players coming in the comments on social media. Really bring it to reality. The standards of where we are. Yep. 100%. The comments on social media bring it to reality, bro. This is where we are as a club. We're finished. My thoughts on Arsenal was if Arteta was getting sacked this season, Arsenal should go for either Oliver Glasner or Simeone Inzaghi. That would be a good shout. Simeone Inzaghi would be a good manager for you guys, in my opinion. But Glasner, he's won at Eintracht Frankfurt and he's won at Crystal Palace. Don't think he's lost a final in his career. If not mistaken. So I think he'd be good. I think it'd be good for you guys. What do you think?
Oliver Glasner, yeah, he'll be. I don't know about Arsenal. I feel with the likes of Frankfurt and Crystal Palace, he performs better at clubs with expectations that aren't as high as the likes of Arsenal's or Liverpool's or United's or whoever. I feel it's the same as David Moyes, really. He made Everton a consistent, team fighting for European places in the Prem. As soon as he went to United, he got found out. The job was far too big for him, and I fear with Oliver Glasner, something similar may happen there. In terms of Inzaghi, listen, people have gone off him since the 5-0 defeat in the Champions League final, which I understand completely. Yeah. But he is a master tactician. He sets teams up really, really well, for lack of a better terminology. I'll take Inzaghi any day of the week. Listen, he's lost 2 Champions League finals in 3 years, but hey, what's more Arsenal like than that? So I'd happily bring him in. Obviously, Sankate, you talked about dream signings. In terms of dream managers, Hansi Flick or Luis Enrique, any day of the week. But listen, it's a dream.
Gonna be interesting to see what state United is in January. We shall see, bro. We shall see. United did well in the window, bearing in mind at the start we said we had no money, so we had to sell the buy. Yeah, I'm not gonna take.
Don't believe that.
I'm not gonna take the window. I don't think we had. I think we had a lot of money, bro. They just wanted to save money. Typical Ineos.
Manchester United will always have money.
Exactly. We had the biggest revenue in the country. The day Arteta leaves Arsenal will probably start winning trophies again. Agreed.
I hope so, Sankit. I hope so.
I mean, you should hope you win trophies with Arteta this season as well.
No, that's the thing, Akavin. Listen, I want to get this across, yeah. These people have heard me criticise Arteta time and time again. But my agenda is for Arsenal to win. My love for Arsenal Football Club far outweighs my hatred for Mikel Arteta. Yeah. If Arteta ends up delivering trophies, I will eat the biggest humble pie anyone has ever eaten. And yeah, I'll fucking celebrate it. And yeah, I'll back him. And yes, I'll piss you all off with my shamelessness. But at the end of the day, I don't think he will. Which is why I'm so annoyed and which is why I want him gone. Because he's proven he can't get over the line. Simple.
The 2026 window, if we get Baleba in to replace Casemiro and Palmer to replace Bruno, oh man, nah, we're not gonna get Palmer, bro. We're never gonna get Palmer. But Baleba to replace Casemiro, I don't know. We shall see. I hope we should have brought him in this season, bro. We should have brought him in this season. Well, like I said, another midfielder in.
He hasn't played too well for Brighton so far this year.
I don't think he wants to be at Brighton no more. I think his head's somewhere else. I think he wants to be somewhere else now. I think his mind is not at Brighton anymore. You know what I mean? Maybe that could be the case of a player. Maybe they just want to play bad, so their value gets lower, and then they leave. Is that the case? Because United are looking at a price tag, 100 million was too expensive. So they think, oh, if Baleba plays worse next season, his price tag goes down, and then Brighton will easily say, okay, goodbye, off you go, and then he'll took it to another club. Maybe that's the case.
Newcastle fans are doing the same thing with Isak. I don't know if you've seen it, but this Newcastle fan has made a compilation of Isak missing a load of piss easy chances that you'd expect him to finish around April, May time. And now they're saying, listen, he wanted Newcastle to purposely go out of the Champions League and all that. Listen, I don't know if players are actually that petty. I know William Gallas, for example, tried to force through a move by threatening to score their own goals. But I don't think it. I think it's very rare, and I don't think Baleba will do that. I mean, reports came out that he would have loved to have gone to United, but he would have been fine staying in Brighton as well. So based on that, the performances shouldn't be a worry, but they have been so far for me. So.
But I want Arsenal fans to trust the process lifetime.
Come on, man. Come on.
FA Cup this season, I don't think so.
I hope so.
I don't think Arsenal will win the FA Cup. I think it'll be another team. I think it'll be another team. I think it'll be maybe Newcastle. Maybe someone else.
Listen, Ackerman, yeah. As long as we keep wearing that no more red kit, we're going to get knocked out of every third round we ever play in. So.
Second, I don't think Bruno Fernandes is a 10. That's why I didn't mention his name. He's not a 10, but he's an 8. I think United missed the trick by not going all out for Angelo Stiller. He was just available for 45 to 50 million.
Perfect example of pretty privilege, fans.
Yeah.
He'd be at a bigger club if he didn't have the nose as big as he does. No. I'm being serious, yeah. Like this is horrible. It's like when Real Madrid refused to sign Ronaldinho because he was too ugly and therefore couldn't be marketed. Like it's just disgusting, to be honest. Like, this is a serious point I'm trying to make. Like, do you not? Yeah. I mean, do you see where I'm coming from? Do you disagree? Like,
no, bro. I hear your point, but obviously, But no, sorry, I can't add anything to that. That's too funny. Mine's a bigger nose, you know.
No, seriously. Like, if his nose wasn't as big, and if he wasn't deemed ugly, like, he'd be at a bigger club by now.
Arsenal FA Cup, Liverpool League, and Carabao. I don't think Liverpool will win the Carabao Cup. I think Liverpool will go for. I think Liverpool will go for the
Champions
league. Yeah. But I think Carabao Cup should be which team should win the Carabao Cup? Hey, maybe Palace could win that. Maybe Palace could win it. Who knows?
I mean, realistically, Man City are going to win at least one of those. Let's get back right.
Hey, if United appeal against Grimsby Town, we'll get back into the league. Nah, I'm kidding. Don't
That is so shameless, the way your fans were going on after that.
That'll
He
be
missed the
embarrassing.
penalty in the shootout as well.
He scored as well in the game. I think the guy that was ineligible to play. So he doesn't play. The second goal doesn't happen.
Well, there might be another player there instead to tap it in. I don't know. But listen, at the end of the day, you're Manchester United and they're Grimsby Town. You got to take it on the chin, regardless of one because they submitted the worksheets 1 minute after the deadline. I mean, come on.
I've already said that it's either you let it go, or just be consistent and do what Barnsley did, do what Real Madrid did. Real Madrid got knocked out of the FA Cup. The Spanish FA Cup because
Copa del Rey.
Yeah, Copa del Rey because of the ineligible players that weren't able to play, and Rafa Benitez was not aware of that. Real Madrid got knocked out the next day. They won 4-1 and got knocked out because of the ineligible players that couldn't play. So that's why I'm saying we should. You know what it is? I don't want to be that guy that's shameless and say, "Oh, United should be back in the League Cup." I think for me, it should just be that way, stay that way. But if they really want to follow the rules, then keep it consistent with every team. You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna knock out Real Madrid just because they're a big club in Spain, and keep the smaller clubs in because it's a fairy tale and everything like that. Oh, it's a fairy tale that this club beat this club. Then keep it consistent with everyone because rules are rules. It applies to everyone. Even if it's a small club, and if you break the rules, you break the rules. You gotta go with it. So that's what I think, at least. I'm not saying United should get back into the League Cup. I don't think we should. But if you want to keep the rules consistent for everybody, then you should take action. That's what I think. Do I think we should appeal? Fuck that. We embarrassed ourselves. There's no point embarrassing ourselves by asking for replay again. So that's
a club with the resources of Manchester United should not have to rely on the technicality to go through against Grimsby.
I suggest Man United should pay Grimsby's fine for themselves. Man United should pay the fine for Grimsby Town.
It was a hefty fine as well for Grimsby Town.
It was our player that scored, so we should pay the fine for them. We should pay the price because we lost against Grimsby Town. Against Grimsby Town, bro, of all clubs. I can't pronounce their name properly. As much as I think it's correct is the way I say it. Southgate should replace Arteta. Nah, it would be shit.
You think Arteta's haram?
I agree.
That football would be horrible.
But yeah, speaking of rules and shit, Premier League so far, bro. How have you thought of the Premier League so far in this season, and how have you sort of felt about how everything's gone? Aside from the referee, we'll talk about the refereeing in a different subject in the show. How have you felt about the Premier League so far as a whole? I
feel like PGMOL have found a new pet project this season to help them through week by week. And I'm sorry if there's any Chelsea fans in chat, but I'm sorry, what I've seen these first 3 games. I mean, Eze's free kick getting disallowed, gifting you a point because of a rule that was introduced 6 years ago and has never been applied since, despite a plethora of free kicks having been taken that didn't apply by that rule in the first place, being standing. That was a bit weird. I think against West Ham, I think Paqueta got elbows in the face leading up to one of Chelsea's goals as well. So that was a bit weird. And then obviously that Fulham game was an absolute farce. And Rob Jones, I mean, that was a terrible performance from him. listen, I've said this on the Prem review, Game Week 3 review. Why are referees not stronger with their decision making? Why can't they go to the monitor and stick by their decision? I mean, come on. You know what's going to happen. They haven't got the bollocks. They haven't got the bostle really to stick by their decision. And it's not you correcting your mistake. It's you
Josh, I
admitting you're incompetent, no matter how bad it is.
I have the bottle,
Like user. Despite being associated with Arsenal Football Club, I have the bottle as well. But yeah, I mean that Josh King incident. Like there's 3 different criterias, yeah, for fouls and tackles, if I'm not wrong. Bear in mind, I'm not a referee or whatever. But there's careless, there's reckless, and there's with excessive force. They deemed the Muniz stamping on Chalobah's foot as careless. Number one, Muniz isn't like Muniz is trying to. Sorry.
No.
Oh no, Muniz is trying to roulette. Yeah, Cruyff turn, whatever, turn around. He's not intending to get the ball off Chalobah whatsoever. He's in possession of the ball. Chalobah is the one trying to make the tackle. He plants his foot there. Muniz doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
How else where is Muniz meant to put his feet in the heat of the moment? How is that deemed careless from Muniz's perspective? It's careless from Chalobah to go in like that. Like I felt that decision was absolutely ludicrous. And Chelsea's penalty as well. I mean, João Pedro handles it in the build-up as well. So why wasn't that called back? And I'm not having to go. Listen, you know I don't like Chelsea. I'm not necessarily saying Chelsea have bribed refs or whatever, but they have been very lucky, I'd say, so far.
Isn't it ball to hand? Because it does touch his foot first, and then it bounces onto his arm, doesn't it?
No, but Akerin, handball is handball, and that led to the penalty incident.
In football, in recent times, they've deemed ball to hand if it touches your feet first, then onto the arm. That's the rule of the ball to hand thing. It's been like that for a long time already. But I agree with you. If it touches your hand, it should be a handball. That's what I think, anyways. But
the Champions League have it spot on
for some time already. The ball to hand thing's been a thing for some time already, so I can't really, argue against that. But I do agree with you with that. It should be handball regardless.
Yeah, the Champions League have it spot on. Doesn't matter if it's intentional or not. If it's hitting your hand, it's a handball.
Yeah. There's
all this bullshit about intention. The player's intention. How do you know what the player's intention is? How would you, as an outside force, be able to read their minds? Like, it makes no sense. Like, how would you know? Like, it's absolute bullshit.
No handball's ever really intentional unless they're trying to block their face or something. Like, I remember one time Paul Pogba gave away a penalty by blocking his face against West Ham all those years ago against how do you call it? Yeah, against West Ham at Old Trafford in lockdown. Paul Pogba blocked the ball. I think you remember that. Paul Pogba blocked his face with his arm, and the ball struck his arm, and it was a penalty to West Ham. And then Antonio scored, and then yeah. So basically, that's I can say intentional handball. That for sure is intentional handball. You can't argue against that. That's fair. But you're right about the psychological part of it. You cannot read their minds. It's hard to read their minds, what's really going through the minds about the handball, about if it's intentional, about what they've done. I could go back to years that Man United had a penalty away at Brighton. All those, Josh, I'm sure you'll remember that. The 2020-2021 season. That was a penalty. Like, let's just say it. That is a penalty. I'm sorry. As much as you disagree with what happened, they were checking VAR before the final whistle. And they appealed before the final whistle. That's why they checked VAR. The referee was called to the monitor before the final whistle, and then he blew the final whistle. Do you remember that? And then Brighton, and we scored that.
I remember that.
And scammed a 3-2 win away at Brighton. Do you remember that?
Yes, Akerin, I remember that. I remember getting the notification full time, Brighton 2, United 2, guessing United had dropped 2 points. And then I see Fernandes has scored a penalty, and I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell's going on here?
It's because they
Nah, I was fucked off, mate.
it's because they were already checking the screen before the final whistle.
Yeah, I know. I understand why, but
Yeah,
man, surely it's called the
should've-
final whistle for a reason, you know. Come on.
He should have waited. He should have waited. To be fair, he should have waited to blow the final whistle, then check VAR. He should have waited to check VAR, then blow the final whistle because he went to the screen to give the penalty. You know what I mean? He went to the screen to give the penalty, but still, like I agree. It's bullshit that he blew the whistle. But that was a handball. Like for that instance, that is a handball. It's hard to argue against that. He blocked Neil Maupay blocked what do you call his face? Maupay he blocked his face with the ball. I mean, I don't remember what it was, but Maguire hit it onto his arm, his hand, and appealed like crazy, and the referee blew the whistle. And I'm like, okay, what's the thought process in that? So, even like you can't say United robbed Brighton based off of that. We can't say we robbed Brighton, but the way the referee did it was kind of a robbery because he blew the whistle already. But at the end of the day, United got robbed if they wouldn't have got that penalty. If they wouldn't have got that penalty, there was no VAR, there was no penalty. There wouldn't have been a penalty. It would just been like or he could have just given it because VAR is not pressuring him to check it. Because referees now these days are under pressure from VAR to make a decision based off of other people, not based off of their own selves. That's my thoughts. They're trained to make decisions based off of the screen. They're not trained to make decisions based off of themselves no more. Although, the past weekend I can go through a lot. A lot of instances. I can even talk about basketball if you want. Basketball. I told you about the leg thing, right? In basketball, if you hit your leg unintentionally, it's a kickball. Still a kickball. Even if it rolls off your foot, it's a kickball. If it doesn't roll off your foot, if the player throws the ball onto your leg, loses the ball and it hits your leg, and then it's fine. It's not a kickball because you didn't intentionally kick it. You know what I'm trying to say? They didn't kick it. But in football terms, the hand is not allowed at all in football. And you know what happened? One of my favorite basketball players from my team, yeah, he did a flick over the basketball player with his foot, and they didn't see it was a kick ball. So the basket counted. It was like a football flick. I'll show it to you. But yeah, that's just my thing. Anyways, like the rules should be consistent for everyone. If you can't use a certain part of your body for a sport, contact sport, football, like hand, feet, basketball, it should be that way. It should be that way. It should stay that way. Even if it hits your hand, even if your hand's like this, it still hits your hand. It's a penalty. You can't let the ball hit your hand and say, okay, I made a mistake. It's nothing. We're checking it. You ain't checking nothing, bro. They ain't checking nothing. These guys don't check VAR. They don't ever talk to VAR. They keep doing this. They ain't checking it. Trust me. They ain't checking it. They love to lie about these things, bro. They love to lie. And I remember that Barcelona game as well. Sanket mentioned. How much did Barcelona get away with that day? It's mental. How much they got away with that day, and they've gotten away with so much in their history is crazy.
Did you think it was a penalty for Barca back then?
Sorry?
Did you think it was a penalty for Barcelona back then?
I'm not sure. But Rayo Vallecano should have won the game. They had so many chances in the second half to win the game. They should have won that game, in my opinion. Barcelona playing with 12 players, Sanket says. There you go. But yeah, man, controversy all over the gaff. United game on the weekend as well. VAR, I think it was a penalty. Feel free to disagree with me. I think it was a penalty. The contact, yes, it did start outside the box. I'm talking about Ahmad's penalty, by the way, not Mason Mount's one. Ahmad penalty. I think that was a penalty. The first one, it should have been a free kick. How the referee overturned that is crazy. How the referee decided to blow the whistle, give a penalty, and decide to overturn the whole thing. Because yes, it's a foul. If you're gonna check for a penalty and they say the foul happens outside the box and it claims that Mason Mount kicks Walker, what's that supposed to mean? He didn't kick Kyle Walker or foul Kyle Walker. How did United not get a free kick at least over there? How do we at least not get a free kick for that? It's crazy. You know what I mean? So referees have been so inconsistent with their decisions in recent times. Like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. It's just like I can't fathom how bad referees are in the Premier League nowadays. I really can't fathom it. I just really can't fathom it, bro. To be honest. But I want to know your thoughts as well, bro. If you wanna.
Well, I'd like to refer back to a quote Arsene Wenger said about referees in the lead up to the 2018 World Cup. You have two leagues in Europe where the referees are professional, in Italy and in England. Not one English referee is going to the World Cup, but we can't say a thing about it. And listen, that was 2017. That's nearly 8 years on from that statement.
Mm-hmm.
And despite the introduction of VAR, despite a constant revamping of the rules to make it as easy for the refs as possible, they're worse than ever. They're considered professional. I cannot see it. I cannot see it whatsoever. Listen, man. I'm tired talking about referees because we all know they're shit.
Yeah.
We all know they're incompetent, and we all know that VAR isn't used correctly. I mean, what else? Honestly, what else do we talk about with this? Like,
referees, in
what
my
else can we
opinion,
say?
shouldn't be an excuse for losing games because we know how bad they are. But referees should influence the games better. That's what I think. It shouldn't be an excuse for the referees to cost you games, but it should be better for the ref. But it should be influenced better. Games should be influenced better by these guys. They're the judges at the end of the day. They're the judges of football matches. They should judge it better. You know what I'm trying to say?
Akavin, the sign of a good ref is the fact that you don't know their name. The sign of a good ref is that you don't notice them doing the game.
Yeah.
You know? So, listen, I want the referees to have as little influence on the game as possible. I want it to be between the two teams. I don't want little technicalities getting in the way. I don't want VAR getting in the way of what should be a free flowing football match. You know? At the end of the day, if you know a referee's name, if you know all their controversial decisions in the past, chances are they're not a very good referee.
The FA needs to change this, bro. They need to bring in referees from all over the world. If they keep trying to claim the Premier League is the best league in the world, bring in referees from other countries too.
If you want to globalise the Premier League as you have done, if you want to market the English League as you have done, if you want to globalise it the way you have done, why not allow referees to be from other countries that aren't England? Exactly. And speaking of referees being from England, how come they're all from the northwest?
There's an Australian referee, to be fair. There's an Australian referee. There's an American.
Yeah, but this is what I mean, Akman. Like,
you need
Australian, part of the Commonwealth. He's a Liverpool fan. It's not exactly globalization to an extent, is it? Australia used to be part of the British Empire. Of course, they're going to have connections in terms of their employment there.
Yeah.
You know, he's a fucking Liverpool fan, Jared Gillett. Anyway, we saw what it was like last season. He sent Saliba off on VAR the week before we played Liverpool. I mean, come on, is that not a bit weird? Like, come on.
What about the American referee from the US VAR official from America?
I don't even know we had a VAR official from America.
There is one.
Well, like I said, Ackerman, another English-speaking country, used to be part of the British Empire, the US. I mean, my main point is, like, there's referees from... I mean, there's people from less... I wouldn't say developed, but countries that aren't as... They don't have as good a relationship with the UK as the US or as Australia did. Why not bring referees from there? That's my whole point about globalization. Open it up for everyone. It's meant to be a free market. Like, we're in this pseudo-capitalist business venture that is the Premier League. Why not allow everyone from all walks of life in? Why not? Make it global. Make it the best league in the world with the best standards of refs that you can get. Why not? And speaking of which, Akavin, I mean, I told you, like, why are the majority of English refs from the northwest? Is that not a bit weird as well? I mean, what are the chances of that? What are the chances? What are the chances that there's referees and all the referees, the majority of English referees, are from the Liverpool area, are from the Manchester area? I mean, come on. Is that not a little bit strange? I mean, are you telling me that there's no referee from London? Are you seriously telling me that? That's bullshit. Come on.
I hear it, bro. I disagree.
With what?
Sankeet's comment. Bruno
What was
Fernandes
his comment?
is the best signing done by United post Sir Alex Ferguson. I disagree.
Who do you think is?
I disagree. I think Ander Herrera was up there. I think Ander Herrera is my favorite signing. It's the best signing for me post Sir Alex Ferguson. That's just me. That's just me. I rate Ander Herrera really highly. Like really, really highly. And I was gutted when we let him go. I was pissed off when we let him go. We should have given him another contract. We let him go to PSG. And you can understand why PSG wanted him because he was a good player. Big up to Noah. Big up to you, bro. Hope you're well, man. Big up to you, bro.
Thank you, Noah.
But yeah, I mean that's the Premier League referees so far. How do you feel about our club so far? Lastly, and we'll close out.
Hackering, man. I mean, how often have I ranted about Arsenal on here? Like, listen, yeah, I look at our first 3 games, and ultimately, it is only 3 games into the season. But we played like shit at Old Trafford. Granted, winning at Old Trafford, beating Manchester United is always fun. We slapped Leeds up, that's expected. We have Odegaard the captain and Saka going down. Saka's not going to be back until the City game, most likely, or the Bilbao game in midweek. And then we lose at Liverpool in a game Arteta had no intention of winning, in my opinion, based on the lineup alone. And you look at the first half, Liverpool were there for the taking. It's just extremely disappointing. And now Liverpool are clear at the top already. They've got a I wouldn't say commanding 2-point leads, but it's clear they're the team to beat. Chelsea are above us now. You know, Spurs and Bournemouth are only behind us on goal difference. And I know this is only game week 3, but we really needed to hit the ground running. And in my opinion, it's been a bit stop-start. And I know that Anfield is really tough to go to. I know we only lost to a set-piece goal. But how many teams have lost 1-0 due to set-piece goals against us? We can't complain when the shoe's on the other foot. We can't complain when our manager, who's so hyper-fixated on margins, loses the game on a small marginal moment.
Yep.
It's our own doing. And he's got the squad to win now. Fuck competing, he's got the squad to win now. And I'm talking about the major trophies. I'm not just talking about the domestic cups. Although I consider the FA Cup a major trophy.
It is.
You've got the squad to win. You fucking win now. I don't want to hear any shit.
It is a major trophy. It is a major trophy. You don't have to consider it. It is a major trophy. Don't let these idiots fool you otherwise.
Oh no, I consider the Carabao Cup. Yeah, it's a trophy.
It is.
I consider it major. I mean, Arsenal have only won it twice. I'd fucking love to see us win it again.
If your club's competing in it, it's a major trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
If your club's competing for a cup in England, it's a major trophy all of a sudden. Because isn't England the biggest country in the world for football? Isn't it? Is according to these laws. So every trophy your club's in should be considered and regarded as a big trophy, no?
Well, especially considering this is the country that founded football, that came up with the rules for football in the first place.
Exactly.
Every trophy that England creates has to be considered major, surely. But,
exactly.
I mean, look at it. The first ever football game, England versus Scotland. I mean, come on. Heritage. Why is the Carabao Cup not considered a major trophy? Nonsense.
Don't get off topic, Sanket. Sorry, stay on topic, bro. Sorry, Josh. Go
on, bro. No, it's good. In terms of Manchester United, I mean, if it wasn't for that Bruno Fernandes penalty, it would have been glorious. But in all honesty, you played well against us. You played well for half an hour. No, you played well for the first half against Fulham. You dropped off in the second half. You played like absolute shit against Grimsby and got what you deserved.
First half against Burnley, bro, we should have scored 2 or 3 goals in that first half.
Yeah, then against Burnley, you should have won a lot more comfortably than you did.
5-2.
So, I mean, with Manchester United, it's just consistency in terms of your performance.
Agreed.
Like, because you keep, I mean, it's like bipolar disorder. You're just going up and down between halves. It's not good enough. So, that's my assessment of it. If you want to give your assessment of both our clubs, feel free to. I'll have to be on mute though because there's some stuff going on.
Listen, it's just me. I think we've just not been consistent enough, and we claim to have all these chance creative players, chance creation players, top assisters, top goal scorers. Why aren't we scoring goals then? So clearly the system is an issue if you're not scoring a lot of goals. You could talk about you being first in this, top in that. I don't care. You need to put the ball in the back of the net to back it all up. Putting the ball in the back of the net backs up your talk, backs up the stats, and the stats don't tell you every single detail about it. That's just me. I just don't think like, look. I think we've been poor. I think we've been horrible. It's because second half against Burnley, it should not have been a battle in scrap. Fulham shouldn't have been a battle in scrap in the second half. Should have been wrapped up in the first half. Arsenal, we should at least come away that game with a draw. We should have at least gotten away with a draw in that game at best. Even Josh can agree with me. We should have at least gotten away with a draw at best. In my opinion, at least. And you know what it is? We're relying on set pieces to win us games now. That's 3 games, 3 set piece goals already.
Well, you could argue Chelsea doing the same as well. I think 6 out of their first 8 goals have been set pieces.
So and you know what it is, bro? Our corner kicks are improving, and that's what I want. I want our set pieces to improve because I never see us score from set pieces. I hardly do. And when we do, it ricochets off a defender for an own goal. So I'm just like, you know what, bro? We need to score from all over the pitch. Set piece, open play. I want us to bag more goals. And Manchester City after the international break, dare I say it, it's a good time to play them. Dare I say it. Because this is their
How's that going to age?
It's gonna age poorly in my opinion. Because they've lost 2 games in a row. They've lost 2 games in a row. No better time to come back home and beat us. You know what I mean? No better time to come back to Old Trafford and to beat us. But we shall see, innit? We shall see. I just feel like United do better against the bigger sides. I feel like we do better against the bigger sides. I don't know how well we'll do. I don't know if we'll be able to beat City. I don't know if we'll be able to control the game or whatnot. Listen, we shall see. I hope it's exactly the same as the City Spurs game, and we end up bagging all those goals. But we shall see. Create chances and finish your chances. All I can ask for. In terms of Arsenal, anyways, take care, Saka. Take care, bro. Tonight I have 2 shows, so yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be there. I might not be in chat because I don't know about those sports, but I'll be.
I'll say this about Arsenal. I just think you guys have been inconsistent as well. I think first game of the season, you guys, look, it was, I wouldn't say you got lucky, but you did enough to win because United just didn't do enough to score. That's how I see it. Second game, look. Second game, you just ripped Leeds apart. You ripped them apart. And you scored from a set piece, and the first goal was a set piece, and that kickstarted your your 5-goal margin, because without that set piece goal, the floodgates don't open, and you guys might not score that goal. And you guys might not go 1-0 up. It might be second half when you guys finally break the deadlock. Second half, you just saw the game out. 3 goals in the second half, and you just finished the game off. Third game of the season, boy. You went against Liverpool, cowardly. Very cowardly. Don't know why these tactics are back at a ground that you need to go and win. If you really want to challenge for the Premier League title, this is not the way you should be playing. This isn't the way Arsenal should be playing. This is the way that if you guys want to go to grounds and win league, if you want to go win league titles, you go for it. What did you do when you came to Old Trafford all those years ago to win the league? You went for it. What did you do when you went to Stamford Bridge when Chelsea were good? You went for it. You're so fearful of these teams. This is why I keep on saying Arsenal mentally, they're not ready to win the league. You guys have a team ready to win it, but mentally you're not ready to win it because you guys keep playing this negative sit back and defend football and just try and hit teams on the counter. Route 1 football. Yeah.
Rely on the set piece.
Exactly. It's not going to win you titles, bro. This is why you fell off last season, and this is why I think you need to go back to what you did before when you started cooking teams. 5-0, 6-0. You destroyed Sheffield. United 6-0. You destroyed West Ham 6-0. You destroyed what was it? Or was it Sheffield United 6-0? Was it Sheffield United 6-0? 6-0.
Yeah, Burnley 5-0, Crystal Palace 5-0.
Exactly, and then you destroyed Forest at home 3-0. Forest were one of the better teams last season as well. You destroyed them 3-0 at home, and you destroyed Man City at times as well. But this is what I'm trying to say. Sitting back and trying to hit teams on the counter, it's not always going to work. You need to go for it. When we went to win league titles, we went to grounds like Anfield, Etihad, and attacked. Leeds were a problem. We went in and attacked. Who else was a problem? Chelsea went in and attacked. Why? It got us. Even if we lost against Chelsea, we still managed to get over the line. It just goes to show you ain't scared to fight against these teams. You ain't scared to go to get over the line. Arsenal, for me, are experienced enough in title races now to finally get over that line. Mentally, you're falling off a cliff. Quality-wise, let me tell you right now, that Arsenal team is one of the best in the league, quality-wise, in my opinion. Mentally, nah, sorry, not it for me. And the manager is an issue. And why you keep doing these weird, cringy tactics, weird, cringy things in training, sorry, man, it's childish.
It summed it up against Liverpool when Declan Rice kicked it out for a throw in Liverpool's end.
And celebrating at Old Trafford and equalised at Old Trafford last season, trying to shush the fans of United were in 15th, 14th.
That's why Gabriel's my captain.
It's mentally just not there, bro. I'm sorry. It's mentally you're not there. That's just my thoughts on it. Sorry, I know you want to add something.
No. I agree with you completely, Akram. That's why Declan Rice isn't my captain for me. That's why Gabriel's my captain. Last season, Declan Rice scores an equaliser against Manchester United. Start shushing the crowds when you're in 15th, 14th, 16th, wherever. Gabriel equalises against Man United. What is he saying? Fucking get back to the centre circle and let's try and beat this lot now. That's the captain that we need. But the captain that we're not going to get because this cunt prefers Erdegaard for some reason. Don't know why. But yeah, that's a good way to end it off. Good review so far, I'd say.
Any other clubs that you've been impressed about? Any other clubs you have concerns about over their performances, or you wanna?
Aston Villa are a big concern. They haven't scored a goal yet. I think they've only picked up 1 point so far. They lost to a Brentford side. They lost to a Brentford side that I thought was going to go down.
I agree. I still think Brentford will go down. By the way.
Yeah, same. I'm not going to change my predictions after game week 3. I still predict City to win the league. But
every club's going to feel like they're mentally ready for the season. Once the season really kicks off, like which is after the international break, the first international break, clubs that will start to crumble. They'll start to crumble. They'll feel more pressure, and then they'll go away. It'll be tougher to kick off.
That's how every season pans out in the end. But I'm impressed with Bournemouth and Everton so far as well. Everton, they lost, dodgy penalty against Leeds, and then they've got 2 wins from 2. Bournemouth, they should have got something at Anfield. Now they've got 2 wins from 2. Chelsea, I expected them to get 9 points from 9. So I wouldn't say I'm impressed by them. And they have got a bit of refereeing help, as I've mentioned earlier. No offense if you are a Chelsea fan, but I mean, there's no secret that you have. Obviously, Liverpool, we expected them to hit the ground running. But their defence still causes problems. Not against Arsenal, because Arsenal didn't want to attack for some reason.
They're scoring a lot of goals, but conceding a lot of goals mentally in the game. But Liverpool, they're not out of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's three winners in the last 10 minutes or so.
This is why
that's why they're champions.
That's why they can win the league. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
That's why Liverpool are champions. Because they got an 88th minute winner against Bournemouth. They got a 100th minute winner against Newcastle. And they got an 83rd minute winner against Arsenal. Mentality, Akevin, as you were saying. Mentality.
Spurs as well.
Spurs, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's no surprise that Tottenham win at the Etihad. It's no surprise that Tottenham beat a newly promoted club.
But
it's no surprise that Tottenham put in a shocking performance against Bournemouth. It's just been typical Spurs for me. And I don't want to sound salty because, listen, they've been more successful than us in the last 5 years. But, yeah, it's typical Spurs, really. I wouldn't say I'm impressed. I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. I'd say I expected Spurs to be like that because that's what they are in terms of league. They get a brilliant result and then they get a poor result against a team that you'd expect them to get points off.
Fair enough. But we're gonna close it out now, people. Make sure you guys hit the like button. If you're watching this back, people, make sure you guys hit the like button as well. Make sure you guys sub to the channel. We are 1 sub away from 430 subs. I'd like to get there soon. And Josh will be back. I think we'll be back next week. I think we'll do Beyond the Ball again next week, when there's lesser like sort of sports, when there's like lesser things to preview. Because this weekend we have the U.S. Open. I had the U.S. Open back tonight. U.S. Open and NFL season starts tomorrow. And don't forget the cricket. The Asia Cup is starting very, very soon, so I would like to preview the Asia Cup with a couple of lads as well, if possible. And also, we've got who else? I've still got my Red Army Rampart with Rasta and stuff like that. I've still got my shows. Beyond the Ball back next week, Footy Talk, and whatnot. U.S. Open and F1 this weekend as well. F1 this weekend. So F1 and U.S. Open this weekend is what I am going to be doing with the lads. But that's all we have for today. Like I said, 1 sub away from 430 subs. If you guys could sub, it'd be fantastic. Let's quickly do something real quick, and then we'll close out. But Josh, anything you want to add before we close out? Right, really quickly.
No, really. Just subscribe to AN Sport, hit the like button, and reward Akavan for his relentless hard work and dedication to this channel.
Appreciate you, bro. I really
No
appreciate
worries.
it. And people, leave your comments in the comment section if you'd like to after the stream. I'll get to you real soon. But guys, that's been us. We're out. See you next week, people. On Beyond the Ball.